Doctor thinks he knows what causes Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and ALS. What if I told you that these devastating brain diseases, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, ALS, aren't random, mysterious tragedies? What if they're not just a matter of bad luck or bad genes, but the result of something we can influence? For decades, we've been told that neurodegenerative diseases are inevitable as we age. But emerging science paints a very different picture, one filled with hope. These conditions don't start in the brain the way we once thought. They start years, even decades earlier, with subtle changes in our metabolism, our immune system, and even our gut. Here's the truth: Alzheimer's has been called type 3 diabetes because of its strong connection to blood sugar dysfunction and insulin resistance. Parkinson's is deeply linked to environmental toxins and mitochondrial dysfunction, tiny powerhouses in your cells that fail under stress. ALS is tied to chronic inflammation and oxidative stress overwhelming the body's repair systems. What's fascinating and empowering is that the brain doesn't live in isolation. It's connected to every system in your body. Heal your gut, balance your blood sugar, detoxify your cells, calm inflammation, and you can change your brain's future. This isn't just theory. Patients who once faced cognitive decline have reversed symptoms by adopting anti-inflammatory, nutrient-dense diets, optimizing sleep, reducing toxins, and supporting their mitochondria. Their bodies weren't broken, they were out of balance. The question isn't what's the cure, the question is what's driving the damage, and how do we stop it? Because when you uncover and address the root causes, you don't just slow these diseases, you can often prevent them altogether. The time to act is now. Your brain is designed to heal, repair, and thrive. The choice is whether you give it what it needs, or leave it fighting for survival. Number 1. Neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and ALS are not random or purely genetic. Neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and ALS have long been seen as mysterious, random, or simply the result of bad genetics and aging. But new science is revealing a far more hopeful and empowering reality. These conditions don't appear out of nowhere. They develop over decades, shaped by the way we live, eat, and interact with our environment. Your brain is not separate from the rest of your body. It responds directly to the signals it receives from your gut, your metabolism, your immune system, and even your exposure to toxins. When these systems are out of balance, inflammation rises, energy production in your cells falters, and tiny but critical processes in the brain begin to break down. Over time, this creates the perfect storm for neurodegeneration. What's most striking is that genes alone rarely determine your destiny. They are like a loaded gun, but your lifestyle pulls the trigger or keeps it safely locked away. People who eat processed, nutrient-poor foods, live in chronic stress, or are exposed to environmental toxins are unknowingly giving their brain a constant stream of harmful messages. Conversely, when you feed your body whole, anti-inflammatory foods, balance your blood sugar, and support your mitochondria, you send powerful signals of safety and repair. The science shows us that these diseases are not inevitable. They are the body's response to years of subtle insults. And if we can uncover these root causes and address them early, we can change the trajectory of our brain health. The message is clear. Your daily choices are shaping your brain's future. You are not powerless in the face of these diseases. The key is to act now and create the conditions where your brain can heal, grow, and thrive for decades to come. Number 2. Alzheimer's is strongly linked to insulin resistance and blood sugar dysfunction. Alzheimer's disease is often thought of as an inevitable part of aging or the result of bad luck, but mounting evidence shows it is deeply connected to how the body manages blood sugar and insulin. This is why many researchers now refer to it as type 3 diabetes. When we eat a diet high in refined sugars, processed carbohydrates, and unhealthy fats, our cells become resistant to insulin, the hormone responsible for regulating blood sugar. This insulin resistance doesn't just harm the body, it starves the brain. The brain depends on a steady supply of glucose to function, and when insulin resistance develops, the brain's ability to use glucose is impaired. This creates an energy crisis in brain cells, leaving them vulnerable to damage and accelerating their decline. On top of this, excess sugar in the bloodstream triggers chronic inflammation and oxidative stress, which further erode brain health. Over time, these processes contribute to the buildup of amyloid plaques and tau tangles, hallmarks of Alzheimer's disease, but the good news is that this pathway is not fixed. Studies show that adopting a low-glycemic, nutrient-rich diet can stabilize blood sugar, reduce insulin resistance, and even improve cognitive function in people already showing signs of decline. Healthy fats, such as those from wild-caught fish, avocados, and nuts, provide an alternative fuel source for the brain in the form of ketones, which can bypass glucose resistance and nourish starving neurons. Lifestyle habits like exercise and quality sleep also improve insulin sensitivity and help the brain detoxify harmful waste products. By addressing blood sugar imbalances early, we can not only slow the progression of Alzheimer's but potentially prevent it altogether. The key is understanding that your brain's health depends on the way you fuel and care for your entire body. Number 3. Parkinson's disease is tied to environmental toxins and mitochondrial dysfunction. Parkinson's disease has often been viewed as a condition that begins and ends in the brain, but science is now uncovering a deeper, more connected story. This disease is closely tied to environmental toxins and mitochondrial dysfunction, two factors that silently damage the very systems that keep our brain cells alive and functioning. Mitochondria are the tiny energy factories within our cells, responsible for producing the fuel needed for every action, thought, and movement. When they are overwhelmed by oxidative stress, poor nutrition, and exposure to toxins like pesticides, heavy metals, and industrial chemicals, their energy production falters. Neurons, which require an immense amount of energy, are especially vulnerable to this breakdown. As mitochondrial function declines, waste products accumulate and inflammatory processes are triggered, leading to the death of dopamine-producing brain cells, a hallmark of Parkinson's. Environmental toxins amplify this damage. Studies have shown strong links between long-term exposure to herbicides, pesticides, and solvents with higher Parkinson's risk. These chemicals disrupt delicate cellular processes and impair the body's ability to detoxify harmful substances, creating a toxic overload that pushes neurons past the point of repair. Yet there is hope in this knowledge. By supporting mitochondrial health with nutrient-dense foods, antioxidants, and targeted supplements like CoQ10 and alpha-lipoic acid, it's possible to enhance cellular energy production and reduce oxidative stress. Detoxification strategies, such as consuming cruciferous vegetables and supporting liver function, help the body process and eliminate harmful toxins. When combined with regular exercise, which is proven to boost mitochondrial biogenesis, these interventions provide the brain with tools to resist and even reverse damage. Parkinson's doesn't have to be a slow, inevitable decline. By addressing mitochondrial dysfunction and reducing toxic exposures, we can empower the brain to recover and restore balance. Number 4. The brain's health is deeply connected to the gut, immune system, and cellular energy. ALS, or amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, is one of the most devastating neurodegenerative diseases, often leaving patients and their families feeling powerless. For years, it has been viewed as a mysterious and untreatable condition, but research is beginning to shed light on the underlying processes that drive its progression. One of the most critical factors is chronic inflammation and oxidative stress, which together create an environment where nerve cells can no longer survive. Inflammation is the body's natural defense mechanism, but when it becomes chronic, it turns destructive. In ALS, this prolonged inflammatory state causes immune cells in the brain and spinal cord to release toxic molecules that damage motor neurons, the cells responsible for controlling movement. At the same time, oxidative stress, an imbalance between harmful free radicals and the body's ability to neutralize them, weakens cellular structures and disrupts communication between neurons and their supporting cells. This deadly combination accelerates the loss of motor function and leads to the rapid decline associated with ALS. However, understanding these drivers also opens the door to hope. By focusing on reducing inflammation through an anti-inflammatory diet rich in colorful vegetables, healthy fats, and phytonutrients, we can begin to calm the immune system. Antioxidants such as vitamin E, glutathione, and polyphenols from foods like berries and green tea help neutralize free radicals and protect neurons from further damage. Stress management and restorative sleep also play a key role, as both are vital in regulating immune function and promoting cellular repair. While ALS remains a complex disease, these lifestyle and nutritional strategies offer a powerful way to slow progression and support the body's natural healing processes. This approach reminds us that even in the face of challenging diagnoses, there are actionable steps that can help preserve function, extend quality of life, and awaken the body's capacity for resilience. Number 5. The brain's health is deeply connected to the gut, immune system, and cellular energy. The health of the brain is deeply interconnected with the health of the entire body. For too long, we've treated the brain as if it exists in isolation, but science now reveals that it responds directly to the state of our gut, immune system, metabolism, and cellular energy production. The gut, often called the second brain, plays a central role in regulating inflammation and producing neurotransmitters that influence mood, memory, and cognition. When the gut lining is damaged or the balance of beneficial bacteria is disrupted, harmful substances can leak into the bloodstream and trigger widespread inflammation, which eventually reaches the brain. Similarly, chronic immune activation doesn't just harm the body. It creates a cascade of inflammatory signals that compromise the blood-brain barrier and damage delicate neurons. Blood sugar imbalances also have a profound effect on the brain. When glucose and insulin levels spike and crash repeatedly, the brain experiences oxidative stress and energy deficits that leave it vulnerable to neurodegenerative diseases. Even mitochondrial dysfunction, which impacts every cell's ability to produce energy, directly affects how well the brain can repair itself and resist damage over time. The hopeful message here is that by healing these foundational systems, we can profoundly influence brain health. Supporting the gut with fiber-rich, probiotic foods, calming the immune system through an anti-inflammatory lifestyle, stabilizing blood sugar with balanced meals, and nourishing mitochondria with antioxidants and healthy fats all send signals of safety and repair to the brain. These interventions are not just preventative, they can often reverse early cognitive decline and protect the nervous system from further injury. The brain thrives when the body is in balance, and every positive step taken to heal the body creates ripple effects that support clarity, memory, and long-term neurological resilience. Number 6. Addressing root causes like diet, toxins, stress, and sleep is the key. The power to heal and protect the brain lies within the body's natural design, waiting to be activated by the right choices and environment. For decades, people have been told that neurodegenerative diseases are inevitable, that once the process begins, there is no way back. But this mindset overlooks the remarkable intelligence of the human body and its ability to repair, regenerate, and restore balance when given the right tools. Every cell in your brain carries the potential for healing, and even in the face of damage, new neural pathways can form and strengthen through a process called neuroplasticity. This capacity for adaptation depends on how well we nourish and care for the body as a whole. Nutrient-dense foods filled with antioxidants and healthy fats provide the brain with the raw materials it needs to rebuild and protect itself. Movement and exercise increase blood flow and stimulate the release of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a protein that supports the growth of new neurons and synapses. Body practices like meditation and deep breathing calm the nervous system, reduce inflammatory signals, and allow energy to flow toward healing rather than stress. Toxins can be reduced and eliminated, and the mitochondria The energy powerhouses of the cells can be repaired with supportive nutrients and lifestyle habits. This isn't about quick fixes or miracle cures. It's about creating the right internal environment so that the body's natural healing systems can do what they are programmed to do. When you stop seeing your brain as doomed and start recognizing its resilience, you awaken hope and motivation to take action. The body was built to heal, and with every supportive choice you make, you strengthen its ability to fight back against disease, repair past damage, and preserve your cognitive health for years to come.